Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Potluck, your everything and anything talk and entertainment TV show. My name is Laura Hartman, and I am your host. Today we have two wonderful and very informative guests joining us who are going to talk about voluntary benefits and identity theft. With me, I have Insurance Marketplace, Sheila Mongan, and next to her, the lovely Louise Yale, who is an independent associate of LegalShield. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How are you both doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, well, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
So voluntary benefits, is this something new to people, to companies, or because I haven't known about it until, because I've known you for a few months, but I never knew about it until you talked about it.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. Voluntary benefits have been around for a long time.
Okay.
And they're benefits that you get through your employer. So, but they are becoming more popular. People are learning more about them, but they never really knew what they were. So what they do is they help supplement health insurance, and they can help fill in the gaps because employers have pulled back from what they have been offering because it's so expensive,
right,
especially the health insurance, but everybody wants health insurance. So they put a lot of expenditure towards that, and then so all the things that they used to offer kind of fall by the wayside. So companies, they definitely offer health insurance because they want to attract and retain their employees, because it costs a lot of money when you lose somebody, and then to have to train somebody, that's a great expense for most companies, whether you're small or large. So one of the ways that they attract and retain good employees, and now with the unemployment rate so low, the competition is fierce out there for the best people.
Okay.
So one of the ways that you can attract those people are through the benefits that you offer. So you have to offer more than health insurance these days. So in the past, you were lucky if you got, in addition to the health insurance, a 401k and maybe life insurance.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. But now you have to offer things like short and long-term disability. People definitely want dental, vision, and sometimes you don't get that with your health insurance. And then there's a bunch of other benefits that you can offer. So right now, what's popular with millennials is pet insurance.
Right. Yeah. That's what piqued my interest. But I'm not a millennial.
But a lot of people, anybody with an animal, especially dogs and cats, they cost you a fortune.
Yep.
So that's considered a voluntary benefit.
Now, if you work for a big company, does that mean that price is kind of reduced for you? Rather than going to one of the companies online to get your own pet insurance?
Yes, that's a good point. Yes, because the companies get what group pricing.
Okay.
So the employees pay for it through a payroll deduction.
Okay.
But they pay a very small premium compared to what they would get if they went out to the marketplace themselves, or if you got anything on a direct basis.
Okay.
But basically what the benefits that I specialize in are the ones that supplement your health insurance. Okay. So with your health insurance, a lot of people have high deductibles now in order to keep your premiums low.
Right.
So it's $1,000, $2,500, $5,000. I've seen really high deductibles lately.
Yeah.
So in order to compensate for that, because most Americans do not have $1,000 in on hand to pay for a medical expense. So voluntary helps you fill in that gap. It can help you with your out-of-pocket expenses, co-pays, but it can also pay your bills. Because if you're out of work for a period of time, your income shrinks, right?
Right.
You go through all your paid time off, and then there's no money coming in. So then how do you pay your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, put food on the table?
Sure.
And now you have to start making choices, when am I going to get this week? So that's why a lot of people do file for bankruptcy, because it's not their medical bills that make them file, but it's the time out of work and the loss of income.
Okay.
So then that's when people will, you know, they have to foreclose on their houses. And that was the major point that people did foreclose even before the housing crisis in 2008. It was because usually of a major illness or injury that somebody suffered that kept them out of work, and then your income shrinks. So it really doesn't matter if you make $20,000 a year or $200,000 a year. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, and even if you make a lot of money, if you're spending a lot, a medical emergency can really put you behind. So that's what I do. I specialize in those, but I do the other voluntaries as well.
So do you work just with like companies, or do you sell individually? So
I can do both.
Okay. So what happens if, say, like I'm in a bad car accident and I'm out of work for, you know, like I've got like the disability insurance, but it'll cover me for however long. And then, you know, then I take your insurance, but then all of a sudden my company lets me go and then I can't pay you anymore, then what happens?
That's a good point. So like with disability, it's usually a percentage of your income. It's not 100%.
Okay.
So now you're behind that percentage that you're not getting from your disability plan. And that's if your employer offers it. So if you do get out of work, you can, a lot of these benefits are portable. You can take them with you.
Okay.
If, say, for instance, you had a serious illness like cancer. So with a lot of the plans that I work with, you either get a lump sum benefit or they pay you while you're being treated.
Oh, okay.
So you always have money coming in. So things like catastrophic things that'll keep you out.
Right.
That's why these plans are important. They can help save you from a financial disaster.
Sure, sure.
So a lot of employers, they are getting more educated on it now, but what we do is we go into companies and we help explain, we educate the employees, and also show them how it works with their health insurance.
Okay.
On some groups, I'll go over their health insurance and their voluntary benefits, so they get a more comprehensive understanding of what's being offered to them, and that in itself is an employee benefit.
Do you ever feel like, well, you know, this insurance company is better than this one? Do you ever give recommendations, or are you just kind of like?
It depends on the employer and the
Okay.
size of the group, because there are a lot of offerings out there. So I do work with different carriers. So it's really what's best in the best interest of the company and the employees and the group size.
Okay. And do you find like, you know, people, they're, you know, like you're trying to sell them an insurance plan when you're really trying to work with their insurance plan? Do they kind of like get kind of offset, or how is it? How do you introduce yourself to people to let them know what you're doing, to help them better understand what you're doing?
Well, the employees usually, we can do group meetings. There's lots of ways you can do it. You can do one-on-one where they send you one employee at a time, or small group meetings and do several over a period of time.
Okay.
Or through a call center.
Okay. So what are the other benefits? There's a lot of other like voluntary
there's
benefits. Well, the pet insurance one was my favorite. I actually emailed my company and said they need to contact you.
Oh,
so.
Okay. There's tons out there.
Okay.
So, you know, when we learn about their health insurance, we can tailor it to that. But the major ones are like hospital, which can help supplement your deductible if you're ever hospitalized, because usually that's when your deductible kicks in.
Right, right.
But accident, critical illness, which can just be include cancer or have a standalone cancer plan. Critical illness is usually a lot of heart-related and lung disease. The stuff that puts you in intensive care. You know, heart attacks, strokes, that kind of thing. The other ones are the disabilities, long and short term. Not all employers offer that, so you can make it a voluntary benefit, and that way the employees can, you know, choose to insure their own income if they want to, if you as a company are not offering it. Because they are very expensive for companies to offer. Some companies, the employer pays for it 100%, but then if they can't afford to do that, then they make it voluntary.
Okay.
And then dental, vision, there's other supplemental you know, they can supplement the dental or just do, if they're not offering dental and vision,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
help them with that.
Okay. Now, how does the identity theft stuff, you know, mix in with what you do?
Well, let's go back a minute and talk about the fact that this is LegalShield that offers our identity theft program.
Okay.
And so I often speak on identity theft as a problem and what kinds of solutions are out there and so on. We have a comprehensive thing called the ID Shield, which is well worth talking about. But I want to go back a little minute because we're talking about different kinds of insurances. And what LegalShield basically has offered, it's the backbone of their company, is a membership that gives you access to attorneys. Now, you know that if it's a $30 problem, you're not going to hire a $250 attorney to fix that for you. But if you had this from work, if you had this as a benefit, and for a few dollars, it's less than $1 a day to have this plan. Then when those injustices that we're all putting up with, you know, eating the problem, making it worse, paying the price, right, telling all our friends, getting really mad, all of that,
right,
that is a place for LegalShield. And so it's not one of those things where you're waiting for a catastrophe. If I say to people, well, I have a way for you to get attorneys, they go, well, you know, I'm not a criminal. I do everything right. I'm a good girl.
Right.
But that's not the issue. There are tons of little injustices. The roofer never came back. The rebate never showed up. All that little stuff. If you had an attorney that you could call 5 times a day if you wanted to about 5 different things, we have a phone app.
So it's an attorney for everything.
Every specialty.
Not just a speeding ticket, but like for everything.
Well, we are nationwide, so if you go to Disney and, you know, through the little speed traps on the way there, our attorneys will go to court for you and help you with that. Okay. And it's all built right into the plan. Yes. So it's a very little known thing. And for 18 years I've been using LegalShield because we had a car accident that killed my mom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it sticks there still. And the reason I say that is because when something like that happened, that was a catastrophe. And I didn't know how to fix it. We couldn't get anybody to fix the car, and they thought we were going to sue. And I thought, there's some help. And I knew somebody that offered LegalShield. And the attorneys, when I spoke to them, said, go look in your insurance policy, and here was a $300,000 death benefit sitting in there. And they got that for my family.
Oh, wow.
And we're paying like $25 a month. And I'm going, oh, my gosh, people need to know about this. So I'm on kind of a soapbox. And so for 18 years, I've been offering this as an employee benefit. People are just putting up with stuff. We offer a comprehensive will. They can get that with their membership, no cost.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. So I was loving that.
That's great, considering you could go to a lawyer and you pay.
Well, of course, they have to get paid. Lawyers are valuable. You can't do some of this stuff without attorneys.
Exactly.
And so that was in 2000. But in 2003, Kroll Inc., Kroll Background America, who do the criminal history checks, came to us and said, the consumer's got a real problem, and it was identity theft.
It's a huge problem.
Oh, well, at the time, your likelihood in Virginia was 1 in 20 in 2003.
Okay.
Now it's 1 in 2. So it's not you, it's her.
Yeah.
So, well, that's worth considering. Now what we find is that people know it's out there, but they don't know anything about it. So I do a lot of identity theft awareness workshops. Do you know, everybody's worried about their credit card, obviously, and their banking and their ATM and all of that. The number one identity theft is medical insurance fraud. They want these benefits. They want, you know, and they can make an ID card with, you know, their picture, your stuff.
Oh, wow.
Go show up at the hospital, show them their photo ID, right? They've got your group number. Now all of a sudden they're combining a new medical history for you, which is bad. You know, different blood type, different medicines, different whatever.
Right, in different place.
They don't have any insurance. They're like yours. So it's way more insidious than you often think. Credit cards, yes, we should be shredding. Yes, we should be not giving away our social. Yes, we should be watching our line items, excuse me. And credit cards are doing a pretty good job. But what we offer with the ID Shield is total restoration.
Well, how does a hospital or a medical office find out that what happens when there's...
They don't. They send you the bill.
Okay.
They don't find out. You find out.
Yeah.
Unless you've got the ID Shield, in which case ID Shield will find out. But there are some things that you have to do yourself to be more proactive than... This is a very insidious crime. You know, you've got to be paying attention all the time. And so I would suggest you get your medical records once in a while and look at them.
Yeah,
I would suggest that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you need help. It's just like the attorneys can get stuff done that you can't get done.
Right.
investigators from Kroll can get stuff done. So when I talk with a group, I usually say, who here knows whether you have a driver's license in another state? And they kind of look at me unless they just moved here. It's like, what? Well, let's say I'm a clever girl and I find out there are 3 out there in 3 different states. Now what? How in the world is the average person supposed to fix that? There is no way. First of all, you don't have time.
Right.
You're supposed to be living your life.
Yeah.
This is not a hobby on the weekends. This is serious business. And you have to file affidavits and reconstruct your life and on. And you need experts. And so when Kroll came to us and said, we've got the experts, you've got the attorneys. If it's bad enough, they're going to need both. What if they're committing crimes in your name?
Right.
I mean, this is so serious.
Wow. Wow.
And we have a wonderful answer. We have this phone app. You just tap the app, and investigators, it happened to me last week. I got one of those ransomware emails.
Oh, yeah.
I've got all your passwords. I put a virus on your email. I didn't tell you this. Yeah, it's a scary thing. Called Kroll, tapped my app, called the investigator. She said, did they say to you your actual password? Did they give it to you back? I said, no, they didn't. I said, but they've got them. She said, no, they don't.
Yeah,
they will. What they're trying to ransom is they have to prove that they've got one.
Right.
The next day I got another one from a different vendor, same exact email. But now I know it's all right. See, how would you, it threw me in a turmoil when I first got it. It's very,
and a lot of other people, especially like the elderly.
But to call and have somebody who knows, who's an expert at this.
Yeah.
Kroll is a high-risk management company. They're all, you know, these guys that they did all the forensics on Enron. They did, you know, Saddam Hussein had money, all these things that they've been around for 45 years doing. They know how to fix that. They can tell if you've got a driver's license somewhere else, and they can fix it. So I don't know how
How do they fix it?
I don't know. You'll have to go work for Kroll. Well, because they have access to the criminal history, the data banks in the government.
Okay.
So they can do criminal history checks.
So, so we, you know, on top of people, you know, getting a credit card in our names, they're also getting medical cards. And what else can they do?
On and on.
I mean, like I had no, I never thought to even, you know, because we're always looking at our credit report, you know.
There was a woman that applied at Walmart for a job, and she already worked there. They ran her social, and she already worked there.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I mean, so. There was a guy in D.C., this is many years ago, and it was a postman who found that there was something like 91 or something, my statistics might be a little off, but it was 80 or 90 people who were receiving refunds from the IRS to the same address. IRS fraud is huge.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
They send money to the wrong, because they only have to pay it one time. They don't have to go back and say, oh, sorry, we sent it to the wrong person.
Right.
And their advice, file early. Not good enough.
Right.
You are responsible for your life, and other people are messing with it.
What about, because I've heard this in the past about when somebody dies and then somebody takes that Social Security number and then they're collecting their money.
Yeah, co-sign on a loan.
That still happens.
Dead person. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's way worse. I read a book. It was written by a guy right here in Chantilly. It's called Bankrupt at Birth, and this kid. Somebody made up a social. The kid was born, he was already underwater on a house, $300,000 underwater. Now, who do you think they're going to go after? The parents. You know,
so the child has a Social Security number, like right when
you know,
born?
well, they issue them right away when kids are born these days.
Oh, wow.
And so the kid was born already bankrupt at birth.
Yeah, because you don't find out till your kid is 18.
Oh my God!
They go to get a driver's license. They've already got a driver's license.
So what did they do? I mean, like, I guess your company helped them out and got them out of the.
Well, yeah, because it's just like attorneys. When you need experts, you need experts. You can't do it all. You might be great at what you do, but you're not an expert at this. And that's my message most of the time: is that this is bad, this is big. Get some help, and for a few dollars a month.
Right, and so when it does get bad, can you still continue to live your life while the lawyers are doing all the work for you and you don't have to do legwork?
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's the biggest benefit.
Because there's a lot of people that do, even when they work with a lawyer, they still can be like taken down or can affect their job and whatever else.
Well, and we live in a land of high security clearances here. Even if you are proven to be innocent of any identity theft, you might never get that clearance again. But if you're suspected of being the thief, because it's the only crime where the perpetrator is saying that he's not the perpetrator. He's the real guy. The other guy's the wrong one. You know, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Wow. So does your company work with any type of software for your computer, like any?
Here, very interesting question. What they ask you to do is to choose what you want monitored. Because like all services, we do monitoring. That's the only way. You've got to try to catch this stuff first, right?
Okay.
So we have a system wherein you can go in and put everything that's private to you. Your social media, got to monitor that.
Right, yeah.
Passport, certainly bank accounts, credit cards, all of the financial stuff that you would want done. The only thing they can't monitor are stock portfolios. You know, the SEC will not allow anybody to go in and monitor that. But that's monitored, and then you get an alert on your phone. Somehow they'll either call you on phone and find, in fact, I had a young man come to me about a month ago and said that his personal computer was hacked, and he said, the next day I had 12 credit cards. The next day he said they hit my bank account for $2. Testing, right?
Yep.
The next day, $2,000, and then he said, I remembered, I could call an investigator. So he called the guy, and 45 minutes they had all of it clear.
Oh, wow.
How long do you think it would take you to clear up 12 credit cards?
Oh, my gosh.
Let alone the bank.
Wow.
And the banks and the credit cards don't have to return that money. There
Now,
are limitations.
No, I've had it where, you know, like I signed up for something online and all of a sudden, like, 42 cents or $1 or whatever's been taken on my account. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And my bank will take care of that. You know, that's something that my bank will take care of. But
But it's real important. The banks really are not responsible after a certain amount of time, a couple of days, and they don't have to return it all.
Right.
And so it's best if we teach people to be checking check your ATM statement. Just go online, see if it's all yours. You know?
Yeah.
Check your credit cards, see if those line items make sense to you.
And this is probably something really important to have, especially with Christmas and the holidays coming up.
We call it identity theft season. I just I just send a message to all my companies because I want to alert my clients. And the title of it is, while you're thinking of what to be for Halloween, somebody's deciding to be you.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I say that because that's,
It's true.
While you're distracted, you know, Christmas morning, all the off times, you need 365 monitoring. You can't turn it on and off the smoke alarm. You've got to have it on.
Sure.
And that's the way this works.
Okay. So who protects your company? Like, I mean, like, as far as like the website part?
It is as secure as anything can be secure.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
But it's still
Can lightning strike some? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there are no guarantees in life. But you can't get any more secure than this is.
Okay.
You can't.
Now, do you have any competitors? Are there other?
We have competitors, but no competition. She said confidently. Well, because of the restoration piece.
Okay.
There are a lot of ones that monitor lots, and they have helplines. I love the one on TV that now says, "Do you know if you're on the dark web?" I guess they're going to tell you, and then what? I mean, then what?
Right.
So what we offer that's the big differentiator is restoration.
Okay.
That's the piece. You need some help with that, with experts.
Now, how much of your company works with the government? So I work for a government contracting company, and so back in, was it 2009 or whatever, you know, because we've all gone through clearances.
Sure.
The government got hacked.
You bet. OPM, yep. Remember that?
Yep, twice.
Yeah.
So, you know, so they automatically gave everybody the identity theft protection for a year.
There was a big insurance company that had a hit on data breach with 80 million people. Let's say that they spent $1 a month on that, $80 million a month. How much do you think you're going to get for that? Let's talk about this.
Right,
yeah. I mean, my service is $20, $25 a month.
Right.
But you're going to get full restoration.
Sure.
So I'm of the old school, you get what you pay for. You know,
Yeah,
what hurts my feelings is it puts people to sleep. Now they think, oh, I'm covered. You know, yeah, we had this awful thing happen, but I'm good. And you're shredding and you're being careful and you're not, you know, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
And the fact that you have like lawyers backing you up, you know,
If you have both plans.
I don't think that the other plans do
No,
that.
if you have both plans, we have a separate legal plan and a separate identity theft plan.
Okay.
So if a person chose to have both, they would have so much coverage.
Oh, really?
That's
Then
that's
they're
another way to
good.
look at it. That's another way.
So, what are the number of people that have, like, the number of people who have identity theft, you know, their identities taken from them?
Oh, gosh. Well, first of all, it changes every day.
Okay.
It's growing by the day. And when you include data breaches, you got into a different area. data breaches, holy cow.
Yeah.
It would be false for me to give you a number. But it's something like every 30 every minute or something. I mean, it's just huge. And it's worldwide.
Okay.
That's the other problem.
No, and people always think of data breach on their computers, but it's also on cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when people sign up for your service, do you teach them or try to like? Are there like online courses or anything
it's
online?
so simple to install and because they're doing all the work, and it's supposed to be, excuse me, idiot proof, you know, so that anybody can do it.
Right.
Obviously. I mean, I want my kid to have it. You know, I want him to be able to know that he's got access to attorneys when he needs it 24/7, if he's got the legal plan, or identity theft if he's got that. Access. You just have to have instant, easy access.
Okay, one more question, because we're running out of time
I'm
here.
sure you are. I'm sorry, I talk so much.
That's okay.
Thank you.
So the app on the phone, what happens if you lose your phone or somebody gets into your phone and they...
It's password protected, obviously, and it's connected to your membership number. They would have to know a lot about you to use it.
Okay, great. So, do you guys have any last words or any information, you know, anything else other than like the pet insurance that people need to know about?
Well, no, I just appreciate you letting us educate people, because that's the hardest part of what we do. They just don't understand what we do.
Right.
So employees have to ask for these benefits,
Okay.
unless the employer is enlightened.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if they keep asking for them, then they search for people like us to come
Okay,
in and help
okay.
educate their employees.
Okay. Well, I let my company know about you, so hopefully they get in touch with you. But
And you should let them know about her.
yeah, and I'll let them know about you too.
Good,
So,
thank
but anyway, if you are just tuning in, make sure you catch us on the web at www.potluck-online.org. And if you want to find out more information about your companies, what's the best place to find you?
You can Google Insurance Marketplace.
Insurance Marketplace, okay, and look for Sheila Mongan.
Right.
So, and then for your information,
Well, mine's real hard. Peopleneedthis.com.
peopleneedthis.com. Oh, interesting.
Absolutely, that's how I feel. So that will get a redirect to me, and all my contact information.
Peopleneedthis.com. That is ingenious.
Thank you.
So thank you
Thank you.
so very, very much for coming.
Thank you.
This is really important information that everybody needs to know about in this day and age. So thank you, and have a great day. All right, bye-bye.